Stories from our Hanford history are produced by Northwest Public Television, a member of the Hanford History Partnership. Financial support from the Herbert M. Parker Foundation, sponsoring programs that support scientific and educational activities that promote technical advances and enhance public understanding of science and technology as applied to radiation protection and related sciences. In 1944, the health physics program began at the Hanford Engineer Works. The work that health physicists did to design procedures that safeguarded atomic energy workers and the public from the effects of ionizing radiation was one of the truly remarkable and unheralded technological achievements of the Manhattan Project.
The other release was from redox, ruthenium. There were two rutheniums, 106 and 103, and the scrubber in the plant was supposed to remove these from the exhaust, failed, and they released about 40 curies of ruthenium out the stack. It was detectable on Waluki Slope and all the way up just southeast of Spokane. It missed all of real good farms and everything, fortunately, and so we were out collecting a lot of samples for that. Then there was a contamination on Hanford itself, on the roof of some of the buildings and in the ground. So that was all cleaned up. I spent some time monitoring transportation workers who were going around picking up particles around the 200 areas. The other thing that happened is they found radioactive rabbits and coyotes. BC trenches in 2 East area. They disposed of waste which had cesium, and of course it's a salt. It's a relative of sodium in the nuclide chart, and the rabbits got in there and were eating the waste with the cesium and digging down, and the coyotes were eating the rabbits, and so we were finding this contaminated environment, and we traced it down to that. It didn't travel more than a mile or two. Rabbits have a very short range. They don't travel more than a couple of miles. And so that had all got cleaned up and covered over and put to rest. There was a few things like that.
We'd had other findings. We found that one of the early effects of inhaling something like plutonium was a decrease in the circulating lymphocytes. And we couldn't, well, I don't think we've ever worked out the mechanism for that happening, but almost all these animals that had a sufficient amount of plutonium would show an early decrease in the circulating lymphocytes. Now, just stop here a second. I mentioned Frank Hungate, who hired me. He was working there at the time, and we had some discussions about that. And I thought, well, maybe this could be used in some helpful way. Thought that if you could use this in some way to knock down the lymphocytes, then knock down the immune system in organ transplant people, or even treat leukemia patients, it would be worth looking into. So Frank Hungate did develop an implantable blood irradiator that had radioisotopes in it, and that you could actually implant into a person and run the blood vessel through it, so you're irradiating on a continuous basis the circulating blood. He had that implanted in dogs and in goats. It had considerable interest from the clinicians, but not enough money was put up to take it much further than that, so it never got into clinical trials. Anyway, that's a spin-off from that kind of research.